Let's be real. Sometimes life feels a little bit dry spiritually. We've talked a lot about the desert seasons recently, and this last week or so has truthfully felt a little dry to me in some ways. About a week and a half ago or so, I experienced an intense hunger for God that was more intense than anything I'd ever felt in my life. I was morning, noon, and night consumed with the desire for God's presence, to hear His voice, all of that. And so truthfully, I don't know if I really changed anything other than just asking God over and over again, Lord, give me more of your presence, give me what's next. I'm here, I want more. But as the days went by, even a strong hunger, you can get used to it. And once you get used to something, it's a lot easier to be distracted from it. And I've noticed in this last weeks, the number of potential distractions that have been thrown at me has maybe not multiplied, but the pull of them has been strong. And I sense that there is a bit of a battle going on right now, with God wanting me to go deeper, God wanting me to go to yet another level of intimacy and closeness with Him. And the devil, our enemy, very much wanting me to get distracted and not go there. But because of where I've reached with the Lord so far and things that I've come through, I know that when it feels dry, it doesn't mean that it actually is. Let me give you an example here. Right here, I'm sitting in a bit of cornfield, and the ground next to me looks extremely dry and cracked, like nothing could grow or live there. That's what it looks like on the surface. But I know for a fact that we have had lots of rain this spring. I know that the real reason that this ground looks like this is because this particular piece of ground in the middle of this field of corn growing quite well got flooded. That's why only a few seeds came out. But even here, there are some sprouts, like this one. But this ground looks dry and cracked because it was flooded enough to prevent many of the seeds from sprouting, and then the sun has come out to dry it out, and therefore it's cracked. Now maybe a whole bunch more seeds will come up eventually in this section of field, or maybe it will stay this way. But the whole field is still extremely fertile with massive amounts of life. There's tens of thousands of corn stalks growing here, and they're growing quite well for as early in the season as it is. And just like this field, I know that sometimes what looks and feels dry on the surface actually isn't. Here's another example here. Here's where a deer print has gone down into the ground. Let me see this? And that's wet dirt there. So it looks dry and it feels dry on the surface, but it's not really dry. Just an inch or two into the ground, it's wet. It's moist. There is moisture, life-giving water there. And I know a lot of times our dry seasons are the same way. They feel dry, but there's really water there. God is just asking us to go a little deeper, because He knows that when everything looks and feels lush and wonderful and our emotions are on a high of His presence, we tend to not put much effort into going deeper. And He wants us to go deeper. And so He allows the sun, He allows the heat, He allows the wind to blow and dry some of it out to encourage us to go deeper and dig our roots deeper. And so that's where I'm at right now. And I know at this point in my life not to be discouraged, not to be anxious or accept any guilt or condemnation over the fact that some of these days when I've spent time with God, I haven't felt His presence, my emotions, and haven't gone nuts. I haven't heard God speak very much. I know that He is speaking to me because His Word says that. But He's giving me this sense that He is speaking more gentle than before, that He's quieting His voice a little more in order to teach and entice me to quiet myself more so that I can hear Him. And that's a challenge in today's world. But it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to learn to quiet ourselves more and more and more so that we can become more and more in tune with the very gentlest whisper of God. And so these last several days, as I have kind of felt myself caught in the middle of a battle between God asking me to quiet myself even more and go deeper, and all these distractions clamoring for my attention to try to pull me away and stop me from doing that, I've gotten not overwhelmed, but I've gotten a little bit frustrated a couple times of, that feeling of, I just spent a couple hours, wasted hours. I could have spent that time getting quiet with God, and I let the distractions get in the way. But this morning I woke up with a song, and if you're new here, that's one of the ways that God speaks to me personally, is when I wake up with a song in my spirit. I always listen and say, God, what are you saying through this song? What line, what single word, what message in this song is for me this morning? And this morning, the song that I woke up with was, I don't even remember who sings it, but the line is, I'm fighting a battle you've already won. That line is repeated many times in the song, and that's what I woke up with. That I, Katie, am fighting a battle that Jesus already won. And even in this season where God has allowed the surface to become a little bit dry so that I would go deeper, and I've got these distractions fighting for my attention, even this is a battle that He's already won. And He is still calling me now to rest in His victory, rest in the confidence that if this is the lesson He's teaching me, then it's not a lesson He can't teach me. It's a lesson He's going to teach me, that He's walking me through. And it's a good lesson, and it's a glorious thing, and it means He's bringing me to a deeper place with Him, and that is something to be excited about. So yes, I can sit here in the middle of a bit of dryness on the surface and feel that dryness, and I can still be excited about the fact that I know it means God is bringing me deeper. And so I hope that encourages someone else this morning who maybe is at the same point, that I believe this is the perspective that God wants us to have when He says, come here into this dry season a little bit. This is what He's doing, and it's something that's exciting. We just need to learn to ignore our emotions, ignore what things feel like and look like on the surface, and just trust in His Word and all that He has said and spoken to us in the past, and trust in His faithfulness to finish what He started. And He starts so many incredible things, and all of us is something He started. But He is a faithful God. He is faithful to me, and He is faithful to you too. God bless.